The Central Austin Dilemma, charm versus the hidden money pit, otherwise known as the romance versus the map. It is incredibly easy to fall in love with Central Austin. If you've walked down the tree-lined streets of Hyde Park, Pemberton Heights, or Old West Austin, you know exactly what I mean. The hand-carved architectural details, the sprawling legacy oak trees, the classic wraparound porches of a 1940s craftsman bungalow. It has an emotional pull that modern suburban development simply cannot replicate. But as a real estate strategist and as a mom of three who lives right here in the heart of the North Loop and Hyde Park area, I have to look past the romance and look at the map. In the urban core of Austin, buying historic charm without performing a rigorous structural and zoning audit isn't just risky. It can easily become a six-figure mistake on your balance sheet. Successful, smart buyers often assume that if a home looks beautifully staged and has a luxury price tag, infrastructure must be solid. Today, we are demystifying the reality of Central Austin real estate. I'm going to show you the exact trade-offs between historic charm and turnkey modern builds, the hidden structural liabilities unique to our local soils, and the city zoning traps that can completely freeze your renovation plans. Let's look at the blueprint. Infrastructure audit, Pier-and-Beam versus slab. If you are looking at a home built in Central Austin before 1960, you aren't walking on a modern concrete slab foundation. You are almost certainly living on a Pier-and-Beam foundation. Instead of a solid block of concrete poured onto the earth, the house rests on a wood or concrete pillar over an open crawl space. Now, from a consulting perspective, Pier-and-Beam foundations actually have some massive advantages. They offer a softer walk, and if you ever want to remodel a kitchen or bathroom, moving plumbing from underneath the house is incredibly easy and inexpensive comparing to jackhammering through a solid slab. But Central Austin sits on highly expansive clay soil. When it rains heavily in Austin, the clay expands like a sponge. When we hit our intense summer droughts, the clay shrinks and cracks. Because a historic home has been riding this geological roller coaster for 80 years, some degree of shifting is entirely normal. But you have to know how to spot the structural red flags. When you walk through an open house in 78751, look at the door frames. Are they perfectly square or do they look slightly skewed? Run your hand along the baseboards. Is there an unlevel slope to the floor? More importantly, look at the plumbing. Older Central Austin homes frequently have original cast iron or clay sewer pipes beneath the crawl space. Over decades, as the soil shifts, these rigid pipes crack, slowly leaking moisture directly under your foundation pillars and causing them to sink. A standard home inspection will look at the surface, but a strategic partner will always mandate a specialized hydrostatic pressure test and a camera scope of the sewer lines before you lift your contingencies. Let's talk about a major blind spot for successful professionals relocating to the urban core. You buy a charming 1,800 square foot home on a beautiful lot, and your plan is simple. We'll live here for 2 years, and then we'll build a garage apartment or an ADU in the backyard for extra space. In the suburbs, that's an easy project. In Central Austin, you'll run headfirst into a regulatory brick wall called Impervious cover limits. The city of Austin enforces strict environmental protections to prevent flash flooding in the urban core. In many historic central neighborhoods, your total impervious cover, meaning anything that prevents rainwater from soaking directly into the ground, including the roof of your house, your driveway, your patio, even your detached shed, is capped at a maximum percentage of your total lot size, often around 45%. If your existing house and concrete driveway already consume 2,500 square feet of that lot, you are legally blocked from expanding. You cannot add that pool for your kids, and you cannot build that detached office space. Furthermore, parts of Hyde Park and Old West Austin fall under historic conservation districts or have historic landmark designations. This means you cannot simply alter the exterior facade, change the window style, or repaint the exterior without formal approval from the city's Historic Landmark Commission. When we represent buyers in these areas, our first step isn't looking at the kitchen countertops. It's ordering a certified zoning and survey audit to ensure the property matches your long-term lifestyle goals. This brings us to the second half of the Central Austin dilemma, the turnkey modern build. Over the last several years, neighborhoods like Bolden Creek, Silker, parts of North Loop have seen an influx of ultra-modern architectural homes and custom duplexes. If you are a time-poor executive running a company or managing a really demanding career, the modern route has an undeniable appeal. So the pros of going modern: true mechanical efficiency. You get a modern radiant barrier roofing, advanced advanced spray foam insulation, dual pane low E windows, and modern HVAC zoning systems that can handle a brutal Texas summer without resulting in a $600 a month electric bill. So you have predictable capital expenditures. Your roof, water heater, structural components are brand new. Your maintenance budget for the first 7 to 10 years is virtually near zero. But the strategic cons, the premium cost per square foot, you're paying a massive premium for that new construction smell, which means your room for immediate equity growth is compressed. Lot configuration limits to maximize profitability within Austin's strict lot rules. Builders often construct really high density modern homes very close together. You're trading away the sprawling private backyard of an older home for a very sleek, compact, low maintenance courtyard. Ultimately, there's no right or wrong answer here. It comes down to a clear framework I use with my consulting clients, the lifestyle audit. You have to decide whether you want to be the custodian of a piece of Austin's history, accepting the maintenance and structural monitoring that comes with it, or if you value a sleek, turnkey, lock and leave lifestyle that frees up your weekends. As someone raising 3 kids right here in the central Austin core, I know how critical these spatial decisions are for a family's daily flow. You need a partner who understands the architectural character of the neighborhood, but who also possesses the data-driven systems to verify the underlying infrastructure before you risk your capital. To help you navigate your next home tour in the urban core, I've developed a specialized resource. Click the link below to download my Central Austin Historic Property Audit Checklist. It's the exact framework we use to inspect older homes, listing up the critical foundation, plumbing, and city zoning questions you need answered before you write an offer. If you found this analytical approach to Austin real estate helpful, make sure to hit the subscribe button. In our next strategy session, we're moving directly into the numbers, breaking down the top 3 mortgage misconceptions that high-earning professionals make and how complex asset structures can unexpectedly delay your underwriting. I'm Jeni, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.